Good evening, everyone. My name is Anne Logan, and this is the I'veReadThis.com YouTube channel. Today, I am going to be reviewing Pass Me By, Gone Fishin' by Alberta writer Kyle Simmers and illustrated by Ryan Danny Owen, also from Alberta. This book was just chosen as the inaugural Alberta Reads Book Club pick, and I'll include the links below this video so you can check it out for yourself. But it's a government initiative meant to further promote Alberta books and Alberta publishers. So obviously that is a cause I can get behind and that I'm really excited by. This book is published by Renegade Arts Entertainment, who I don't think I've ever made a YouTube channel review of their work, but I've featured a lot of their books on my television appearances because they are a really cool publisher. They work on a lot of, they push the envelope with the stuff that they publish. And I think it's really exciting that that stuff is coming out of Alberta. So this is a graphic novel, and from what I understand, it's the first in a series. It is about an older man named Ed, who lives in a northern Canadian rural town. And according to the marketing blurbs, he is queer, but that doesn't really come through in this first book. There's, I would say, hints of potential love interests, but it's not really focused on in this particular book. So I really liked this book. It's funny, when I first started reading it, I was like, this isn't really meant for someone like me. I don't have anything in common with Ed. And I found it a little slow, but once I got to the end of it, it sort of ends on like a bit of a cliffhanger. Once I got to the end, I really wanted to know more about Ed, and I wanted to know how he was doing. So Ed suffers from dementia, and it's getting worse and worse. He lives by himself, but he has this amazing group of friends around him who are kind of helping him out where they can. And you can tell that Ed is struggling, and he's trying to hide what's happening to him. And that kind of gets him in trouble with other people who don't know him because he's doing weird things like crawling into someone else's truck because he thinks it's his. But so there's this kind of creeping sense of dread as you're reading this book, because you know that, Ed's getting by now, but he's not always going to be able to function on his own because his dementia is getting worse and worse. So obviously this book is dealing with that issue. The question of sexuality hasn't come up in this particular book, but I'm sure it will. And what I really like about this book too is the color scheme. I'm trying to find a good page. Okay, so you'll see that there's some windows in green, and then there's some in pink. And the green windows are meant to symbolize present day, and the pink are representing his memories and things that he's thinking back on. And you can tell that the pink is starting to bleed into the green sections and vice versa, which I assume is, showing this like a symbol of his past and present life bleeding into each other, which is of course very common for dementia patients. So I really like how they used color to kind of signify that and differentiate that for the reader, because it made it a lot easier to understand what was going on. And I really like this color scheme. I found it really really unique, but also sort of calming to read in. There isn't a lot of text, so you'll see there's not a lot of speaking or dialogue. But there are a lot of pictures, and there's a lot of small frames, and what those tend to do is just further the atmosphere and the setting rather than further the plot. So this book doesn't move very quickly, but which is I think sort of why I didn't really like it at first, because it feels like not a lot is happening. But Ed really grows on you as a character. And my second favorite character is his friend Rory, who is like this aging hippie with a big beer gut, and he takes Ed fishing all the time, and they have really interesting conversations about family and stuff. So like a lot going on in this book, a lot to enjoy. It's very short though, I will say that. It could have been longer. I would have loved reading more about Ed, so I'll keep an eye out for the second and third in the series for sure. I think my only worry about this book is that it's probably not the best choice for a book club because it is so short and there isn't a lot going on plot-wise. So there isn't a lot for book clubs to discuss. You know, book clubs tend to talk about the writing and like the characters, and there's just, it doesn't feel like there's enough to really sink your teeth into in terms of an entire book club discussion. So I'm not sure why. Well, I know that this book was chosen at random because there's a video of like our culture minister choosing it, like the name out of a hat. But it looked like the other shortlisted books that are included in the Alberta Reads Book Club are also really good, and they look like they're a bit better suited for a book club because they're your more typical novel, things like that. That being said, I do like this book as an individual reader, and especially for fans of the graphic genre, you should definitely check this out. And yay! Go Alberta Books, go Alberta Publishers. Let me know if you've read this book or if you're interested in reading it now, or if you've even heard of this Alberta Reads Book Club. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you so much for watching. Talk to you guys later. Bye!